because we have given enough time now to how you feel. We have given enough time, attention, and words today to how you might be feeling about the world or about your life. What are you here to do? That's a question, by the way, that we cannot answer for you. But it's a question that you must ask yourself if you are feeling lost or adrift. Now, if you aren't feeling that and you feel like you are right on purpose and things are going well, good, stay there. But what are you here to do? If you knew 2024 was your final year on Earth, what would you care about enough to do in the year to come? And some of you might say, well, I would do nothing. I would just go and hang out with all the people I love and care about and just have a nice connected time with them. And we would say, well, that's doing something. That's actually raising the heart frequency of humans on the planet. That is its own kind of work. Some of you might say, well, I've always wanted to write this manual on free energy because I've had all these downloads about how free energy can work and I've never seen it described the way I can, and I want to contribute towards the evolution of free energy on the planet. I feel like it's why I'm here and what I'm here to do. And we say, good, go and write that book. The question, what are you here to do, for many of you will bring judgment or criticism up into your mind. You will immediately start going, well, what can I do? Well, I'm not good enough to do this, yada, 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 yada. By the way, we aren't laughing at you. We are saying yada, 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 yada is all of the voices of all of the minds, opinions, teachers, loved ones, people you've encountered that get in the way of you moving into your brilliance. Your brilliance is that which makes you uniquely you, that you offer to others, and that harmonically fits with others. So, your brilliance is not you being such an egomaniac about your own talents and abilities that everywhere you go you upset people, ruffle feathers, things don't get done because it's all about you and your own ego. You are not collaborative, you are not able to work in harmony with a group. But your brilliance is your kindness and your care for others. And perhaps that comes from a wound. Maybe in your early life you were not cared for, so it made you double down on how much you care for others. But what a useful wound that turned out to be if you are now operating in truth in your way of being kind and caring. You are no longer doing it to compensate for a wound. You have now adopted it as your true nature, one of your true purposeful gifts. So what are you here to do in 2024? Never mind watching what's going on in the world. That's no different to watching television from the minute you wake up to the minute you go to bed. Television has its place depending on what you are watching and depending on what you need. But it's not a way to live your life. You didn't come to Earth to watch other people's stories. Watching other people's stories can be very useful and a nice balm and soothing and a good injection into your life, but it's not your life. So what are you here to do in 2024? And see if an answer comes. When we say to you, what are you here to do in 2024? What words do you hear? And for those of you that heard words, can you trust those words? Maybe you heard the words love more and it made you very annoyed because you think, I'm loving everybody in my life and nobody around me is loving me. Well, that can be true as well as the directive love more. You can love more, you will love more. But first of all, you need to clear out some of these very conditional relationships. You have to ask yourself why you are beating yourself up by pouring your energy in the direction of people who aren't grateful for it, don't seem to use it in the way that you intended, or beat you up a bit after you've given to them. You need to pay attention to that. So if you hear the words love more, For you, can you, hand on your heart, say, I love my life? And if you say, no, I don't think I do. I don't mind my life, and I think I'm good at my life, and I think I'm good at my role, but do you love your life? Can you remember the last time something filled and opened your heart? And if the answer is no, then good, this is the year to love more and to figure out how to do that. And as was given to you in the opening message of this broadcast today, your divine intelligence is coming online. So if you don't know how to make the words happen right now today, don't worry about it. Just write them down. What are you here to do in 2024? Experience joy is what I heard, and that really annoys me because I have not experienced joy since 2015. And we say, well, good. You're going to this year, but I don't know how. Well, that's not a problem. That's just an angry voice that needs to sit in the back of the car while you sit in the front and figure out where you're driving and how you're going to figure this out. Don't let the old parts of you run the show anymore, particularly if those old parts of you have been making you miserable for years. Sometimes you need to know when it's time to open the curtains and let the light back in. And there are about 20% of you in this group. That's your story. The sun is out there. Even if you live in a climate right now where you don't see the sun, we'll speak of the metaphoric sun. As empaths, one of your jobs is to shake off some of the hard-heartedness that you see going on in your world. Many of you have borne witness to the hardest hearts, especially in recent months. For your heart has to be missing to be doing what many on your planet have been doing to other humans, to countries, to places. Yes, that does exist. There is what you would call darkness on Earth operating through certain humans. But you can't, shall we say, just go home because of that. They are not the largest group. They might be the noisiest. They might be the most alarming. But they are far from the largest group. So, what are you going to do in 2024? You. Not for your family, not for the person that you're responsible for, not even for your work, unless your work is your big passion. And we would caution, if you do get a directive about work, let's say you go, I'm going to write that book. Great. What about your personal life as well? Because those two things will support each other. What would you like to feel? What would you like to experience? What are you ready to allow in more? Some of you are a little hot under the collar while we're talking. We're a little bit of an irritant to your energy field or parts of your energy field that don't want to let go of the control they have had for so long. And that's okay, by the way. That's very human. What those parts of you don't understand is that they are going to rebirth. They are not being killed off. They are going to rebirth inside you. That energy is going to become open energy, potential energy, supportive energy. In 2024, like all years, will have its endings, but it will also be about beginnings. So are you willing and able to look at some of those beginnings and create and cultivate them for yourself? We'll take a few deep breaths together. You are here to create and influence.